As you learn about the narcissistic pattern, it's also wise to reflect on the much healthier alternatives. Now, below you're going to find a link to my new extensive course called Ready, Set, Connect. It addresses both the mindset and the skills involved in gratifying relationships, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. Today, let's go into a bit of a philosophical, reflective thinking kind of mode by reminding ourselves that there's hardly anything more important in life than to know and experience the essence of love. And when I talk about love, I'm talking about much more than just your romantic interest. When we talk about love, we can also have many subcategories that go along with it. Respect and honor and dignity and decency and goodness, all of that comes underneath the love umbrella. And I'm hoping that it's possible for you to know and have that sense of love with many people, whether we're talking about in your home life or extended family or social life or even at work, that's what I mean when I talk about having respect and honor there. But when you're engaging with narcissists, they will say that they too want love. But when they talk about love, it's nowhere close to what you and I would understand a healthy version of interaction with another person represents. Let's remind ourselves the starting point of narcissism is that these are very self-absorbed individuals. They're very self-impressed. They begin with an attitude of entitlement. And by entitlement, two of their favorite words are, I deserve. And they have an attitude of deservedness from you toward them. They think of themselves as being better than you. They're takers. They're users. And even when they give certain things, whether it's encouragement or gifts or whatever it might be, there's a hook on the backside of it. So I think it's going to be interesting for us to ask that question, how does a narcissist love? And you can already tell by my comments here that they don't love in the sense of what I understand true love to be. Their version of love has all sorts of other elements associated with it. Let's go into that space. When a narcissist is talking about love, one of the things, if we are talking about a romantic, but even in friendship and beyond, narcissists want an unsustainable, feel-good emotion. They are inclined at certain times in relationships toward idealization. They think of themselves as being over-idealized, and so they want you to reinforce that. So in their mind, to them, love is you saying, yes, I idealize you. And they want all of the wonderful adoration that goes along with it. And you can see right there, that already sets it up for a potential crash because it's not going to be sustainable. When a narcissist is thinking in terms of love, they won't acknowledge this to save their life, but they're operating with an exaggerated dependency. Narcissists are highly codependent, and by that, they look to the outside world thinking you people out there need to complete me. You need to prop me up. You need to make me look good. And like I say, they don't see this, but this is part of their entitlement. And they feed heavily off of external stimulation to keep them internally feeling alive. But that's what they do, and that's where they're coming from when they say they want to engage in love. Likewise, whenever narcissists feel like they have love, there's an element of ownership that they bring to the equation. They think, and again, whether this is in romance or family or friendships or beyond, you're mine. They often operate with an attitude of jealousy or possessiveness. You exist for my gain. I have to be your number one. And so they want to claim a type of special positioning in your life where you show fealty to them. And it comes across very much as an ownership mentality. In addition to that, they, in their efforts to love, they maintain a scoreboarding mentality. They're very judgmental. They have a grading system, and it's like, okay, did you make an A with me today? Did you make an F with me today? And they're constantly keeping score as to whether you're showing them the correct kind of attitude. And then right along with that, we can also say that in their, quote, love, they're highly conditional. And by the way, love has nothing to do with expecting others to cater to you, but that's where narcissists are coming from. They're very agenda driven, and eventually you are going to be exposed to their ought tos and must and should and supposed to. That comes along with the package. You may not see it immediately up front, but it's there, and it's very much at the center of it. And right along with that then, in their love, they still don't acknowledge your freedom. Your freedom is minimized. They're not really interested in helping you become your own separate self. It's like, no, you need to stay over here on that agenda, keeping in mind that they have their conditions. And then, of course, you can see that as they, quote, love, there's not real empathy that's associated with that. Now, they may from time to time show a little bit of curiosity about you, but it's not of the I want to know you from your vantage point kind of mindset. In other words, they're just trying to find out information about you because they're data gatherers. And eventually they can use that against you. And then in addition to that, we can also say that in their love, they have this kind of rule. And the rule is you need to be vulnerable, but not me. And so they love it when you will reveal some of the things about yourself that may be part of your deeper psyche. But over time, you realize that's part of their power game. They like having that power over you. And then ultimately, when a narcissist goes into love, you begin realizing after time, it's very fickle. In other words, it comes and goes. Sometimes when it's useful, they'll pull it out. Other times it's like, get away. And we go back to that word unsustainable. The defining features of narcissism really do not lend itself to love at all. When you're egotistical, when you're exploitive, when you're insensitive regarding another person's feelings and needs, when you are trying to prop up a false self, all of that sets up blame shifting and anger and gaslighting. It's not love. Now, I know that many of you have felt hurt because of your hopes and aspirations to have loving interactions with other individuals. And there's not a whole lot we can do to make another person be loving toward you. But what you can do is you can examine that narcissistic understanding of the word love, realizing that it has so many fallacies associated with it. And you can decide, I want to be the kind of person that gets love right. And so when we talk about a healthy form of love, let's see what that means as a contrast. When we talk about love, first we're going to say it begins with clean motives, no hidden agendas. This is not me looking to you to give me supply. I want to love because love is in me. And then when we talk about love, we also use the word us. Us means us. There's a we. In other words, there's at least two of us in this relationship. I have my desires, but you do too. Let's make sure that as we engage with each other, that there's that appreciation that we have our needs and we can encourage each other. And of course, and it's all based on mutuality, and you realize narcissists don't have that, but you can. Also, when we talk about love, let's make room for ebb and flow. It's not always at the highest peak that you may want. Sometimes it goes down some, but then it can return, and there's a sense of patience that goes along with that. And we factor that in, and we allow for that ebb and flow because of that patience. As we approach one another with love, harmony, not conformity, harmony is the goal. And that still allows for our uniqueness even as we learn to blend with each other. In love, true love, we celebrate freedom. We celebrate uniqueness. We celebrate expressiveness. We celebrate open-mindedness. We celebrate choices. That's not something that a narcissist does, but as you and I commit to a healthy form of love, that's what we do. Likewise, as we show love, it's typified by conscientiousness. You make decisions based on what you understand the need of the other person in front of you also desires. And it allows for a sense of courtesy to be there, and just a recognition, again, going back to that term us and we, that there's a we that's here. Love means that we have trust and trustworthiness in the equation. In fact, trustworthiness is proof of love. And I want to be known as a trustworthy person. When you have love, it means that you have a willingness to sacrifice. You can delay gratification if that's called for. You can be a servant. And it's enhanced by giving and without requirements attached. When you have love, there's room for assertiveness. There's room for direct communication because you like knowing what each other's needs and feelings are. And if there is something that's there that's problematic, in love, there's a forum that says, let's talk. Let's put it out there, and we make room for imperfection, and we work with one another to overcome that. That's where guys like me talk about boundaries and directness and assertiveness, and it can still be done inside the context of love. Now, when it becomes clear that a narcissist's desire for love and attachment is not really sustainable at all, it becomes painful sometimes when you realize you have to let go of that dream. It can hurt when you have love to give, but that person doesn't really know how to reciprocate. You can feel grief. But let's close with this by saying love is a foreign concept to narcissists. You simply cannot draw out of a person that which is not inside of them already. Now, I hope that videos such as this can give you some good food for thought, and I mean down to the core of my being. I want you to join me here on Team Healthy in saying, well, we can understand this, that's going on in the narcissist, so that we can be the better alternative. And I want you to stand with me for dignity, respect, and civility. If you've not already hit that subscribe button and hit the like button too, I would invite you to subscribe so that we can keep more videos coming in your direction. I truly appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your journey with you. If you have a need for therapy, and many times as you're thinking through these kind of things, you know that it would be good for you to find someone in a professional capacity that can help you with that. I'm so pleased to be sponsored by the people at BetterHelp.com. And there's a whole team of licensed professional therapists. There's a link below that will take you to that. If you have that need, I would strongly encourage you to go into that direction. You know that I have my courses, and these are like online classes, and they're with multiple videos and written documents and questions. We have This Is Me, which is all about setting boundaries, free to be finding yourself despite the controllers. We have Ready, Set, Connect, about making good connections and having good connection skills. We also have my podcast, which is growing exponentially. We have my books. We have our website with many articles, many resources. Please avail yourself to all of that. Love really is central to a life that's well lived. And I hope that narcissist doesn't so get inside your head that you wind up letting them set your pace. Know what love is and know how it's distinct from what they bring to the equation. And in doing so, I truly hope that you can find your sense of steadiness so that you can be a person that knows a really good byproduct of love. And that byproduct is you can find peace.